welcome to another video. Today I will be talking about an interesting first part of a series I will be doing, and this is what if Shane Walsh survived the first 2 seasons of The Walking Dead. So basically in this video I'll be mainly covering what could The Walking Dead have been if Shane survived instead of Rick, or if Shane left the camp in the first or second season, or even if Shane and Rick got along. So basically in this video I'll be covering those 3 storylines, so let's get into it. If theory 1 is what if Shane Walsh killed Rick Grimes. So in this theory I'm gonna cover how we could have killed him and what could have happened after it and his relationship with other characters if he'd done it. So basically, if you don't know, in the official Walking Dead universe, Shane takes Rick to a field to plan on killing him, but in return Rick kills Shane. So in this I'm going to talk about what if Shane killed Rick instead. So basically in this what if scenario, Shane takes Rick to a field, and when Rick isn't looking, Shane pulls a gun on him and shoots him in the back of the head. Well, if you did not know, in the main universe, Rick kills Shane, then Shane comes back as a zombie, aka a walker. And then his son, Carl, has to kill him again when he's a zombie. So, in this universe, we're going to talk about how would Carl react after seeing his stepfather, in a way, kill his real dad. Because Shane had a relationship with his mother, Laurie. So, if you saw the person that had been your stepdad for a few months kill your real dad, how would you react? So in this storyline, we're going to see how Carl would react. I think Shane would walk up to Carl and just put his hand on his shoulder and just quietly say, "Let's go." And Carl will be in that much shock, he'll just follow Shane and he'll just keep it to himself. So when they get back to camp, Shane will be covering his cover story that Rick got bit or he died in some way, and Carl will just be stood there still in shock, and Laurie will come up to Carl to see if he's okay, and that will be it until we get to the prison. Now in the prison, I think Shane would handle this slightly different to how Rick handled it. So when they enter and they kill all the zombies in the official AMC's universe, I think Shane would do the exact same, kill all the zombies. And that's it really. Then you'd kill the zombies, and then when they get the prisoners, I think this Shane would be more calm and more clear-minded. So I think, honestly, this Shane would just let them have one cell block and they'll keep the distance, and that will be it from the prisoners until the governor attacks. And this is when we're going to talk about how Shane handles the governor, because Shane died before the governor showed up. So basically when the governor shows up and he has Herschel by the throat with a sword, I think that Shane would honestly just let him do it. I think he would say, "Okay, do what you have to do, but just leave us alone and we won't bother you again." And I think the governor honestly would just leave them alone and we wouldn't see the governor again. But when Laurie is giving birth, I think she will have the same fate as what she originally had, And just before she dies and Carl's with her, Carl will tell her what Shane did to Rick, his dad. Since Maggie will be there in the room with them, she'll be her and Carl will be the only ones alive that knows what really happened. And a few episodes later, I think Maggie would tell Glenn, and then Glenn would tell Daryl, and the whole group would know. And then in some way or another, Shane would die, but I think that Daryl would kill him in a similar way how Shane intended on killing Rick. I think he would take him out into the forest and kill him with the help of Dale or Glenn, or just maybe even Maggie. So yeah, I think that's how this storyline would come to an end. It's a shame that the governor couldn't have been covered a little bit more, but yeah, that's how I think it would have been handled. In this timeline, this is where if Shane left the camp. So in this imaginary timeline, I'm going to say Shane left at probably when Rick first came. I think he would privately talk to Laurie and say that he's going to go, and he would leave on his own. And then I think he would come back around the time the Saviours, or maybe the prison. I think he would come back around the prison time. I think he would he would kind of go insane, but he would calm himself down and he would come back looking for the original group. But I'm not gonna talk about that one today because that's not as exciting. So I'm gonna talk about what if he came back when Negan was around. So I'm gonna say it was when they were in Alexandria and Negan was in control. So I'm gonna say that he comes back around then. He hears about this place and there's a man there called Rick Grimes, and he wants to go and try to convince Rick to let Carl and Laurie come back with him. But little does he know Laurie's dead. So he goes to the prison and he sees that he finds out Laurie's dead, and he kind of has a mental breakdown, but Negan lets him stay for one episode. Not one episode, for one night, and then Negan would try to convince Shane to become a saviour and like his right-hand man, but he would just decline and try the next morning try to let Rick give him Carl, and he has like an emotional talk with Carl, and then Carl just says thank you for helping us when Rick was in a coma, and that would be it really. And then Shane would be as mad as ever. So to prove that he should be worthy to take Carl, he kills Negan and then teams up with Rick to take down the rest of the Saviours. And then Rick offers him a place in Alexandria, but he leaves again and doesn't return until, I would say, the Whisperer arc, where he gets ambushed by a group of Whisperers and he has to kill them. And he remembers hearing about Alexandria. So he heads there to see if they know what's going on. So he heads there, and Rick offers him a place there for good, and this time he accepts, and he kind of becomes a right-hand man to Rick. So this is probably the most wholesome and best ending for Shane, so let's get on to the next one. Short and simple, similar to how Shane's time was spent on The Walking Dead. So for this one, this is what if Shane and Rick got along. I think this would be very, very similar to the AMC's timeline of The Walking Dead. So up until Terminus, I think Laurie would still survive but die in a later date. I still don't know how, and I'm not going to talk about it. I might talk about it in a future video, but anyway, I think Shane would be hot-headed like we see in the show and try to escape at Terminus and get killed. and I think the show would go on the same route, but Rick would learn from Shane and be more calm throughout the show, and that may result into a few different timelines and results. But that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed, because I spent a while on this video. So comment down below if you enjoyed it and what if you would like to see me do next. Yep, thank you for watching, and please make sure you subscribe.